more of an information, gone a little bit further than I need to. But what is important is actually knowing what survey you want to do. So as an engineer, you're going to have to decide, well, what's my budget? How accurate does it need to be? And how can I get around paying millions of dollars for a surveyor if I can actually just take it off aerial photographs? So a lot of those questions you have to answer yourself according to what the client wants. Oops. That wasn't the cell phone, was it? Oh. Okay, so there's some examples here of a job. Job 1, steep terrain, involves a platform for a large wind farm for rough gravel road to the site. So I did that at a job down by Raglan where they were doing the wind farm down there, and we worked out that we could use the aerial photography to do an approximate gravel road up to the job, and it worked out all right. It was a little bit different in a couple of places. The guy on site managed to get around that, and we saved a lot of money on the survey. Job 2, a highway shape correction. Well, you can't save any money on that. You're talking about a digital site survey with accurate levels from the survey company, because you're changing the correction of the road, the camber of the road. That requires good digital data. And there are questions around the same as those two there with job 1 and job 2. There's some common scales here. Now, I'd like to talk about batter slopes for a little bit. And this is the first time my friend, the geotechnical engineer, comes into play. He was always the most unpopular one in the office. He was always the first in. No one ever knew that if he ever went home. And no one really talked to him because he was the one that stuffed up most of your jobs. I'll tell you why in a minute. With roading jobs, you've got your areas of cut. That's my car, by the way. I say, yeah. And sorry, that's an area of fill. No one picked me up on that. A big chance to do half a mark then, never mind. Okay, and so we have an area of fill and an area of cut. So along the road, our job was normally from the start of the new piece of road to the end to what they call balance the quantities. So we would go along the road. That was the new road that we did. We'd work out the quantities, and we might have, say, too much cut. By the way, these are questions also in the test. So one way of balancing it so we had less cut, an obvious way was to drop down the road here like this. So when you drop the level of the road down, sorry, did I say cut? Less cut, you raise the road. You raise it in fill, and obviously it'll be raised here as well. So we have less cut and we have more fill, so therefore the balance comes back to zero again. Another way of doing it is, might have another colour here, yeah I do, is to increase the batter slopes in the cut, in the fill, or to decrease the batter slope in the cut. So if we decrease the batter slope in the cut, we have less cut. We increase it in the fill, we're getting more fill, so therefore the overall balance works out as well. And the opposite can be applied if we want more fill. Less fill. If we want less fill, we drop the level of the road, or we increase the level of the fill batter, Or we drop the level of the road will mean there's more cut, or we increase the cut barrier. And here, we used to do that all the time. We would do those different ideas all the time to balance our cut and fill. Because if you balance your cut and fill along a road job, say it's 1 kilometre, you don't have to get the fill from anywhere else. You don't have to, you're using the same cut as you're going along the road, okay? So obviously you need to plan it, so you cut first and then you patch up the areas with fill, then you cut again. But if you've got a balance at the end of a road job, you've done a good job, right? Yep.
Is that drone the upper one? Like, is that's filling, right?
Yeah, so this is fill.
And that one, it's filling too. That's not balancing.
No, this is cut. Yeah. Technically that.
Oh, okay, that's the level.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, so you've got to think of this as a big long road. Some pieces are cut, like when you go north of Auckland before you get to the tunnel, there's those big batter slopes, that's cut. And sometimes you're driving along, you're looking down, oh, that's a big bank, you're not going to fall down there, okay, that's just. So what I'm trying to say is to balance our cut and our fill, we have those different techniques, increasing the batter or decreasing batter, raising the height, lowering the height. Okay, yeah.
Can you please draw formation level in these two?
Formation level is the first formation level of my design would be this one here and this one here. Right? That's the road. That's my new road. I put the car there just so you get an idea of what the formation level is. Right? The problem is that you spend days, weeks designing a road, balancing the cut and fills. Everybody's happy, signed off by my boss, about to go out the door, and then all of a sudden the geotechnical engineer wakes up. Normally they've got big bushy beards and they haven't shaved or washed for about 4 days. And that's just the females.
What's he doing?
No, they're very annoying because they walk into the office and they go, and they scratch their head and they go, I'll change that batter slope, please. Yeah, not 2 to 1, make it maybe 2.5 to 1, not 1 to 1, make it 0.9 to 1. And then they walk away again and they sit down and you don't see them again. And you're like, because your balances are completely out again. So then you've got to do something else for the job and then they can come in right at the last minute